When the first season aired back in 2015 under Studio Madhouse, it absolutely blew up, particularly due to its art and animation, which was able to somewhat match the glory of the manga. It was the absolute dream team formulated by the director at the time, with legends who worked at Ghibli and on Akira, 169 key animators and 120 not being Madhouse studio employees was wild. I'm actually somewhat surprised by this situation because after all the backlash that came from JC staff producing the second season of One Punch Man back in 2019, they happened to get their hands on the series again. And in 2022, we had all been patiently waiting almost 6 years for it to air in 2025. We're now in the month of October where the series is scheduled to air, and according to Mal, the most anticipated anime of the month is One Punch Man Season 3, followed by Spy X Family Season 3 and My Hero Academia final season. In my mind, it's practically dead on arrival after all that have happened throughout the months, and yet it's extremely hyped by fans bordering on pure hopium, probably because the third season is said to have some of the best fights in this story. My aforementioned reservations are for many reasons, which includes the lack of any information earlier this very year, since reminders, this season was announced way back in 2022. Poor marketing / advertising and the disappointing showcase at Anime Expo, which only had character visuals to show us without any staff listing surpassing even season 2 on the will this be cooked-o-meter in my head. The lack of any real trailers were particularly interesting since the ones we did end up getting were either the alleged pre-animated Garo scene just to hype us up even though it didn't have any actual footage that'll be in the show, or the PV teaser that just hinted at the dreaded PowerPoint PNG Man, the animation, which was to come, being that everyone who saw it wanted to see some more movement. They literally didn't even animate the fish in the evil natural water / mineral water clip, making it look straight up dead. Not good for an action series called One Punch Man. Like, they literally flipped and reused a still frame of Darkshine in 2 separate scenes, hoping that fans wouldn't even notice, although I can't be too hard on them for doing that since I've heard that a single man solo animated the whole thing, and to make it all entirely worse, Kazunori Ryuzawa was only a FX animator. The ace of JC staff is most likely Kenshiro Aoki, who solo animated the Garo trailer, to be honest. Of course, those of you who aren't keeping up with this stuff, aka are up in life, wouldn't know all this or even care, but I still gotta mention that a good portion of the fan base are either on some sweet copium telling themselves that the team behind the series is deliberately hiding footage in order to surprise all of us with animation far surpassing even season 1 as part of a 189 IQ, all according to my how to manipulate 4D chess plan. Absolutely, I think those who believe that need to see their doctor because they're clearly off their meds or need to go out and touch some grass. But there's another portion of the fan base who are expecting this season to be a whole lot worse, hence they harass and mock the staff who have been drip fed and revealed to us on Twitter. And yes, I said Twitter and not X. Well, typing x.com into your browser just looks incredibly sus, so I'm still not gonna call it that. Anyway, as for the people on Twitter who don't think before they type all those hurtful and disgusting comments, as much as I may be kinda impressed by the fact that they're all a bunch of keyboard warriors who don't think before they type. I can't help but suggest that you all consider jumping off the nearest tallest structure and do that thing TikTokers call unalive. Since, what the frick are you doing? How is that supposed to help?
Your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose. You should kill yourself now and give somebody else a piece of that oxygen and ozone layer. Because what are you here for? Kill yourself. I mean that with 100%, with 1,000%. I've never seen somebody so worthless in my life. I dead ass. If he has kids, imagine if it has kids.
Sure, the director Shinpei Nagai worked on Hentai 2.5, the hybrid backgrounds, 20 years ago in the past. However, you can't overlook the fact that he had involvement in Psycho Pass, JoJo Part 4, and Dr. Stone as well. Plus, he's essentially functioning as the entire marketing team, so we wouldn't have been fed any information. Look, I want season 3 to be good. I'm not happy slandering the series into oblivion. However, I'll keep my expectations in check and do post a little just in order to avoid disappointment, knowing that I live in reality.